Hey there, Teddy Rumpskin here. Yeah. Whoa. Hey there, Teddy Rumpskin here, your Sega Genesis geek, and today we're talking about Spider-Man games on the Sega Genesis. Yeah, and there's quite a few fucking Spider-Man games on the Sega Genesis, and actually, all of them are pretty damn good, you know? He's got a better track record than fucking Batman. I mean, I got a bunch of fucking Batman games for the Sega Genesis, and most of them pretty much fucking suck. I mean, this one sucks a whole lot. This one sucks maybe a little less, but, I mean, my favorite game is The Adventures of Batman and Robin. And, a lot of people don't really like that game because it's really fucking hard. I mean, the difficulty level on that game is just kind of ridiculous, and, yeah. But, Spider-Man's got a much better track record on the Sega Genesis. He's got some really nice games, right? In fact, there's two games on the Sega Genesis, both called Spider-Man, right? Yeah, this one's called Spider-Man. And this one's called Spider-Man. They're both Spider-Man, right? It's a little confusing, right? Well, this game is actually based on the Spider-Man animated series, you know, from Fox Kids. It had that theme song that was like, Spider-Man, Spider-Man, radioactive Spider-Man, right? Yeah, that theme song's in the game, right? Yeah, and it's a pretty damn good game, even though it's made by LJN. Oh, LJN. I mean, LJN gets a bad rap. Sure, they made a bunch of crappy games, but they also made some good games, like this one, right? This Spider-Man game is actually pretty badass, right? Yeah. You run around as fucking Spider-Man, and, yeah, it's pretty cool. Now, actually, I'm playing it on the Retro Duo, right? And it's playing pretty well, actually. There are no problems with the Retro Duo. It plays all my Super Nintendo games just fine, right? And this game actually uses almost all the buttons on the controller, right? You know, there's a kick and punch, and use the web and jump. It actually uses the top buttons too, right? The right one actually activates the thing to swing on, right? The little web thing to swing on. And the one on the left allows you to run. Yeah, it makes you run. Well, I didn't even know you could do that in the game, right? So when I first played the game, I was like walking around like, man, Spider-Man's slow, right? I didn't even know you could run until I fucking watch the demo in the game, and then I'm like, hey, that guy's running, right? And actually in the demo of the game, if you just let it play, the guy playing the demo is actually doing pretty well. You know, damn, he took that guy out with like one kick. He's good. Oh, what, there's a secret area up there? I didn't know there was a secret area up there. Yeah, so I didn't even know you could run in the game, right? So yeah, now I'm running all over the place as Spider-Man, and it's actually a pretty decent game. The controls can be a little squirrely. I don't really like pushing the run button. You know, he should just be running anyway. Why would you want to walk anyway? Right? But it's still a pretty fucking cool game, right? Ah, fucking what? Don't fucking swing over there. What purpose does that serve? I kind of died a couple times in the first fucking level. I thought was a little unfair, but you know, might just be because I suck. It might be why. But yeah, this music's more than a little repetitive. Oh what? Fuck you. you want? Okay, get down. Shoot him. Okay, he just punched me and ran away. I can handle it. Oh, fuck you. Stop shooting me. Oh, my God. What are you? Oh, my God. The second level, you're in like the sewer, running around and actually fighting this one guy who's like the Sandman, except he's made of water, right? He's the water man? Water guy. He's like the Sandman, except with water. Is that a character from the Spider-Man comic books? Is he really? Yeah, and you also run into the lizard, right? The lizard shows up in the fucking sewers to kill that fucker and... Yeah. Oh, I got you. Hey, turn back into a dude. Hey, what's up? How you doing? Yeah, it's a pretty damn good game, even though it's by LJN. Fuck that. It's still a fucking good game. But this Spider-Man game is actually a little bit better. Yeah, I actually like this game a little bit better, right? And this game is exclusive to the Sega Genesis. You know what I'm saying? It's a Spider-Man game based on the Fox Kids cartoon show. That one actually came out on the Super Nintendo and the Sega Genesis. This one only came out on the Sega Genesis. And according to the title screen, it's actually Spider-Man versus Kingpin. Oh, Spider-Man versus Kingpin. I get that. Because actually Kingpin is the bad guy after you, right? He's actually framed you. Right, he tells like everybody in New York that you have planted a bomb somewhere that you're gonna blow up the city. Hey, why the hell do they buy that? Seriously? Whatever. Basically, the cops are out after you, right? Yeah. I'm walking around. There's an old lady here and a cop. Cop tries to fucking what? Fucking arrest me? Fuck you. Fuck you, cop. Yeah. What? Whoa. Hey, look, there's some real crime going on over there. Why don't you stop some real crime rather than going after me, stupid cop? Come on, stop the real crime over there. Stop it. Get away from me. Don't make me hurt you. Yeah, I have to beat the shit out of a cop. And then this keeps going on and on until I do something. Punch this guy. Punch you, Grandma. Punch you. Punch you in the face. Yeah. I really like this version of Spider-Man. This game is probably my favorite fucking Spider-Man game on the Sega Genesis, right? It's lots of fun. The controls are solid, right? You like jump around and climb on the walls. You even climb on the fucking ceiling, right? You know, beat up crooks, and it's a really fucking solid game. Seriously. It's fucking awesome. Yeah. Okay. Whoa. Fucker. Yeah. And you don't really have lives in the game, right? When you die, you don't really die. You just go to this fucking jail cell, right? You get caught by the cops, I guess, and then you escape and continue on your fucking mission, right? You basically have a time limit, right? And if you ever die, you'll lose some fucking time, right? Because the Kingpin says you have 24 hours until this bomb's gonna blow up the city, right? And that's how much fucking time you got in order to, you know, complete all the levels and shit, right? It's actually pretty hard. But it's not like difficult. It's not frustratingly difficult. Actually, the controls are solid. The game is solid. It's a fucking cool game. Seriously, right? Ah! Fucking rats. Now, there's some other games for the Sega Genesis, but first I want to show you this right here. This is a Venom comic that features Carnage, right? Yeah, check that shit out. Yeah, Venom was like a villain from the Spider-Man universe that was so fucking popular that they gave him his own fucking comic book, right? Where he was the hero, running around fighting crime on the streets and shit like that, right? Yeah. Because Venom's a rebel. He's a loner, right? Yeah. And he's not afraid to fucking kill people, right? Hell yeah. Now, in this comic, he's actually fighting fucking Carnage, right? Who's a symbiote similar to fucking Venom, but he's like even more violent and psychotic, right? And in the fucking story in the comic book, Venom is pissed off because Carnage is actually getting his own video game, right? A video game on the Sega Genesis? I mean, were they not allowed to say Sega? I find that hard to fucking believe, because actually there's ads for Sega games in the fucking comic book, right? There's an ad here for the X-Men game on the Game Gear. And over here there's an ad for the fucking Spider-Man game on the Super Nintendo and the Sega Genesis, right? And actually, the game within the comic was actually designed by this company called Excessive Violence Video Games, right? And they actually say that the Game Boy version was pretty cool. The 16-bit Super NES and Sega Genesis versions were even cooler. And the 32-bit arcade version was killer to the max. Killer to the max. The 90s. Well, but I think what they're talking about is actually like a game that actually existed called Maximum Carnage, right? Yeah, I remember when this fucking game came out, because it was advertised all over fucking comics, right? Big fucking ads talking about how huge this fucking game was going to be, how violent and crazy Maximum Carnage was going to be. You know? Fucking crazy, right? And the game came out for the Super Nintendo and the Sega Genesis. And it's actually a pretty solid game. It's basically a beat-em-up game where you play as Spider-Man, walking around the streets beating up people, right? Yeah, pretty fucking awesome game. Maybe not as awesome as fucking Streets of Rage or the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles fucking fighting game, but this game is pretty fucking solid. Fucking like it, right? Yeah, but there's one thing that kind of annoys me in the game, right? I mean, in the first fucking level, you're like moving right? Because the game tells you to go right? It's pretty standard for fucking beat 'em up games. You beat up everybody on screen and then it tells you to go, right? Then you go. But then you beat up a bunch of guys over here and then it tells you to go left. Like, what? I just came for that direction. What the fuck? So, I don't know, go left. Fucking beat up some more guys and the game tells you to go right again. Like, what are you fucking with me? What's that about? Why are you doing that? What the fuck? Yeah. The other thing that annoys me about fucking Maximum Carnage is that it's only a one-player game, right? I mean, half the fun in fucking most beat-em-up games is beating up a bunch of people with your fucking friend, right? That's why I actually prefer Separation Anxiety, which is very similar to Maximum Carnage, except you can play 2 players. Yeah. It's got a 2-player option, where one of you can play as fucking Spider-Man, the other one can play as Venom. It's fucking awesome, right? Of course, I don't have anybody to play with right now, so I'm just playing as Venom. But it's still a fucking solid game, right? Yeah, it's fucking badass. You know, you're a little bit smaller on screen, but that's okay. You got more room to move around and shit, right? Yeah, it's fucking awesome, right? Well, but if you have somebody to play with, you can play 2 players, right? One of you plays as Spider-Man, one of you plays as Venom. That's fucking cool. Hell yeah. In fact, I like Separation Anxiety a lot more than fucking Total Carnage, right? Total Carnage. Total Carnage is another game, right? A completely different game. Talk about Maximum Carnage, right? Yeah. Between Separation Anxiety and Maximum Carnage, I actually prefer Separation Anxiety, right? Of course, that's kind of a stupid name for a game. Separation Anxiety doesn't sound very cool. Maximum Carnage sounds much cooler, right, than Separation Anxiety, but it's still a cool game. What? Hey, so it's a pretty impressive list of fucking games right there, yeah? Yeah. But we're not fucking done yet, right? There's more fucking Spider-Man games to play. Next fucking time, we're gonna play Spider-Man and X-Men in a game together. Yeah. And I actually got that game for the Super Nintendo and the fucking Sega Genesis, right? So it's going to be a Super Nintendo versus Sega Genesis video. We're going to compare both of those games, see which one's better, right? So, until then, fucking keep it real.
Spider-Man does whatever a spider can. Spins a web any size, catches thieves just like flies. Look out, here comes the Spider-Man.